We talk about identity today, we're not just talking about people, right? We're also talking about non-human entities like applications, APIs, and devices that need access to systems and premises, of course, with the right permissions and for the right purpose. Digital transformation has completely transformed identity security, just like any other aspect within an organization. And it is still ongoing at a fairly rapid pace. It has changed how, individuals and enterprises interact. And obviously, it has also altered the threat landscape.
I think that over the last few years, I like to say, and I think about this thing of move from identity equal user login to identity equal everything with authority in the system. I think that shift has radically expanded the threat surface. I'm seeing like on the reports that I've been working on this year that in the digital world, for example, non-human identities such as service accounts, APAs, workloads, agents, bots now outnumber humans by orders of magnitude, and attackers increasingly go after those because they sit closer to data and high-value operations.
What is the role of trust or knowing what your source of truth is, for example, when you're conducting identity security operations? From the biometric identity standpoint, these biometric identity these are essentially modalities, or it's essentially the credential that a person is trying to use to prove that they are who they say they are, but it needs to be proven against some sort of verified repository or some sort of verified database of these identities are the true ones, they're not false, they've been validated. Most of the time in the biometric space, we're talking to like government identity systems where you know that this is a trusted source, you know that the identity being claimed is the one that does actually exist.
Trust in identity security, as you were saying, is essentially about the authoritative state of you need to know which system is allowed to define who or what exists, what they are allowed to do, and under what conditions. And I think that as identity sprawl has increased, multiple IDPs, HR system, directories, device inventories, cloud IAMs exist too. So organizations have accumulated conflicted or partial views of the same identity. So that's where compromise, over entitlement, and operational friction are born. I think that most advanced teams are moving beyond like simple anomaly detection towards agentic identity operations. They are moving forward like systems that can observe, reason, and also act on identity risk with constrained autonomy. I think that on the analytics side, we are seeing graph-based machine learning models that continuously score identities, entitlements, and relationships across human and non-human identities too. Like those two topics are mixing, and identifying toxic combinations, dormant high-risk accounts, and privilege escalation path in real time will help like security teams on that path. So I also believe that agentic and generative AI are being integrated into two primary workflows.
I think in AI, most solutions actually today have an element of AI, but it is important to really pay attention to the improvement that they can bring to the outcomes. Sometimes that kind of get lost. That said, I think in IAM especially, automating workflows like say provisioning and deprovisioning accounts, enforcing these privilege, rotating credentials, without really any kind of human intervention. That is something that the more the things that are kind of task based are being automated more and more, and AI is adding is using intelligence to kind of making it more to make it better. Again, another very, very important piece when it comes to identity, because I think we understand about how complex the area is, and the number of elements and components that identity security as a whole, it has. I think governance and policy making, again, going back to what I was saying earlier, it has also moved, as identity security moves from being just static, not to a kind of dynamic piece. I think governance and policy making are also kind of moving from just being compliance checklists to something that is that promotes kind of continuous risk aware contextual identity security. And the evolution, like I said, of threats is driving this approach.
I think that ITDR has become, I like to say, the glue between IAM endpoint and SOC operations. In my areas of focus, its influence is the strongest where traditional tools had blind spots. For example, non-human identities, privileged paths, and also complex hybrid environments. I think that ITDR platform ingests sign-ups from directories, IDPs, credential vaults, cloud, even CI, CD, and secrets management systems, so that's a lot of data. And then it correlates them into attack path and real-time alerts. So in my opinion, concretely, we see ITDR driving value in 3 domains.
Well, since the 3 of us do focus on so many different areas of the identity security space, I wanted to give a chance for us to kind of talk about some of the really innovative or impressive use case examples that we've seen in our research. So for example, myself, when I was doing my biometrics research this year, getting to see the Osaka Expo event that was held in Osaka, Japan, from, I believe it started in April until October. That was actually a very impressive use of biometric authentication in multiple different areas.